All right, everybody, welcome back to Just Talking, where Ernie pretends he's an NFL insider and I pretend my picks are perfect.
Yeah, and today, you know what? We've got some fans that are stressed out. That's Cowboy fans stressed out. And then I know that you Bear fans are confused, and us trying to sound like we know football is has been tough. But hey, we've been on a pretty good roll last couple weeks.
Been on a pretty good roll, but after the recaps, we're giving our Week 15 picks, spreads, money lines, and probably one game we will instantly regret. I know I do.
Yeah, same here. You know what? Let's roll before our picks get worse.
Overall, I want to say this: we are doing pretty good. 9-4 last week. You went 5-2. I went 4-2. But overall record 76-51 and 4 ties.
Sounds like money.
Sounds like good money.
Yeah, sounds like money. If you followed us all year long and took these picks, and you're in the green, you're not in the
You
red.
are
That's for sure. Yeah,
definitely in
last
the
week.
green.
Yeah, last week was a good week. As a Cowboy fan, yeah, I'm stressed. I'm disappointed. They
Yeah,
had the
man.
opportunity, and it seems like it happens every damn year that they have a little bit of control of their own destiny and they falter. And then it comes down to what it's been coming down to over the last several years that, you're depending on somebody else to get you in the playoffs. And, as a fan, it's just bullshit, just tired of it. But also, I'm also keeping in mind that, and I touched on this, with you over the week that, they played 4 games in 17 days.
Yeah.
And as a fan, everybody talked about if we could just win 3 out of the 4, if we could win 3 out of the 4, we'd be in good shape. Well, guess what? Dallas won 3 out of the 4, and we're still not satisfied. I'm not,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So now, I told you my concern. I was in fear of the Detroit game. I was concerned with it, and I was concerned with the Chargers game. The other ones I think will be okay. After watching the Philadelphia Chargers game and seeing how, that neither one of them teams seemed like they wanted to win, and watching Herbert get sacked 7 or 8 times, I can't remember exactly. I think it was 7 times. All the turnovers and
Yeah.
still play the way they played. And I think there was only 9 points scored off turnovers, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me on it. I didn't look up the stats on it. I only watched part of the game, but I'm still concerned with that game. But right now, my focus is Minnesota Vikings. And I
Yeah.
hope that's Dallas's focus. So,
Yeah. And in all honesty, you know how they make the comment that can't play under pressure, in the big game, all that stuff. He's had a reputation for that, right? 31 for 47, 376 yards, 1 touchdown. Yeah, he had the 2 interception, but got sacked 5 times. So, I mean, he got pressured a lot. To me, that doesn't look like he played bad under pressure.
oh,
He played a good game,
yeah,
but, somebody checked out of that game.
yeah. We're not going to mention George Pickens. Um, but it's once again, it's the defense, man. The
Yeah.
defense just let them down. They just could not, they couldn't stop a leak in a paper bag. It's just terrible. And it's sad because you got a quarterback that it was under pressure a lot, but look at those stats you just rambled off. That's good. Those are good stats.
Yeah.
Under normal circumstances, those are good stats. And for what he was dealing with, I've been a harsh critic of Dak Prescott over the years. And I told you he's starting to make a believer out of me as far as his performance. I'm still not sold on him until he gets us to the big game. I think he did his part so far this year. I think the rest of the team has let him down, and I understand it falls on the leader of the team. It always falls on the quarterback, man.
Right.
It's always the
I
quarterback's fault.
I know that feeling. Who
Yeah,
do I
you
blame?
do, and we'll talk about your team too. I know you feel about Caleb Williams right now, how I felt about Dak Prescott in the early part of the years, all the way into Dak's middle 5, 6, 7th year. That I was harsh. I was really harsh on him, and I get where you're coming from. And we talked about this earlier. I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys. The expectations are up here. And when the players don't meet those expectations as a fan, we're harsh. We're not as bad as the Philadelphia Eagle fans. We're not going to put D-cell batteries and snowballs and throw them at Santa Claus. We get frustrated and we have an expectation. And when your team or your quarterback or player doesn't meet them, we get down on them. I talked about George Pickens being the number one receiver as well as CeeDee Lamb. And I felt George Pickens was a better receiver this year than CeeDee Lamb has been. And I don't know if he was hurt and trying to play and they had him out there as a decoy just to have him on the field, or if, like you said, he checked out, because there was a couple of plays, especially that long pass where in between two defenders that ball, he tracked that ball all the way down.
He did.
He could have made a move on that ball. And I'm just wondering if maybe he was hurt. If something's bothering him, his shoulder, because he looked like he landed awkwardly on his shoulder earlier in the game. So I don't know, man. It's we can talk about it all day long. It's not going to change. Overall, Dallas lost the game. They did cover the over and under, which was one of our picks. So we're going to
Yep.
move on to this week. Can't do anything about yesteryear. Let's move on to this week.
I'm gonna tell you something about the Bears though.
All right.
They made a couple of mistakes on the defense. They just missed wide receivers. They couldn't catch up. The wide receivers were too fast for them, right? But to lose by 7 in Green Bay with the defense the way they acted in the first half, they did pick up a little bit in the second half. I was happy on the way they played in the second half, not 100%, but happier, I guess you could say. But I'm saying it. Caleb Williams 54%. Like they stopped the run. They Manangai, he didn't get 100 yards. How many yards did he get? He got 57 yards, and Swift got 63. So 138 yards total. So when the defense is stopping the run because they're not getting over 100, they're not dominating the line, you have to throw. When you're throwing 54%, it's not going to cut it, especially in the playoffs. It's not going to cut it. So we lost by 7 with those hiccups, and so I believe in 2 weeks when they come to Chicago, I think Chicago is going to beat them because 54%. If you like ask for 65, 68%, you're asking for 5 more passes completed. It can move the chains. It could get you in the field goal range. It can be a touchdown setup. So I'm not worried about it. I just hope that this game with Cleveland, their defense has not been playing great in the last 4 or 5 weeks. They've been allowing a lot of scoring, is what Cleveland's been doing. So hopefully this is one of those games where Caleb just plays on fire and he throws it everywhere, anywhere he wants to throw it to with completions, gets about 270 yards, 3 TDs, get that confidence up because he's going to need it for Green Bay. He's going to definitely need it for Green Bay. But I really believe that they will beat Green Bay in Chicago. So, and what's crazy is, man, we went from first in the NFC to number 7 with that loss.
Yeah, well, it happens. And I know you're a believer in your team, like I'm a believer in mine. And we had this discussion, and I got some nasty grams over my harsh critique of your team's record and how I believe that it's just a deceiving record, in my opinion. I don't think they're as good as their team. I said in the beginning of the year, I believe the Packers win the division. I'm on the other side of the fence with you. I do not think the Bears can beat Green Bay, even in Chicago. Yes, they kept it close, but Green Bay's struggling too. I agree, they're struggling too. The Bears, I was impressed with some of the play. I'm not going to lie. I just don't think they're good enough to beat them. I know your hopes are where they should be as a fan, and I wish you well. I do. I hope I know you got
Thanks.
over and under bet on the season for wins and losses, and I hope you hit it. I think you need a couple games, I believe.
2 games I need. I
Yeah,
need
and
2 games.
I hope
I
you
got
get
them
it.
over
I hope
10.
that Green Bay, do I hope Green Bay's one of them? Sure.
Yeah.
Because I know it's a big rivalry game.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll see what happens. Again, we got no control over it. This is just my opinion. I'm not a Bears hater. I'm not a fan, but I'm not a hater on the Bears. I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear, and hopefully some of the things you do want to hear. And one of the things you don't want to hear is I believe Green Bay wins the division, and that goes for you and all your Bear fans out there. Wish you luck. I get it. But I just, I hate to be an "I told you so," but if
Yeah.
it happens, you're gonna get the "I told you so," and if your team ends up winning the division, I can take it as much as I dish it out. I'll eat the crow. I wanna touch on something. Receivers for Dallas in that game. CeeDee Lamb, 6 receptions, 121 yards. Florno, or however you pronounce his name, 9 receptions for 115. Jake Ferguson had more yards than George Pickens. George Pickens had 5 receptions for 37 yards. If you don't think he wasn't in that game, even when CD went down, you would expect that he's gonna step up, and he didn't. I'm thinking, there's something out of character there, man.
So if you notice, when CD went down, I think they threw it a couple more times to Pickens, but even Dak Prescott, it seems like Dak Prescott's like, this guy checked out, so I'm going to throw it to this other dude.
Yeah, well, that's why, Forney got the numbers he got, and he made some plays. He stepped in. He did a great job.
And you
It
can't blame it on the defense saying, "Oh, the defense was double teaming me and stuff." Because there was, I can't remember who it was. There was somebody that was like group texting. He was on the radio. He was group texting his friends, whatnot, and he was saying, made a comment, uh, George Pickens is not going to be in this play. And so his friends start like it happened, like he was not involved in the play, in the passing play. And then he did it again, and they're like, "How do you know?" He's like, "Because his mouthpiece is out." So like, if somebody's watching the game and sees that, you don't think the defense is gonna know that? They're not gonna catch on to that?
a lot of tells that
So
we don't know about that they see
yeah,
that we don't see, and that's a good observation. I
yeah.
watched the whole game. I didn't see or hear that.
I didn't either.
You
But
know,
when
I
I heard it the next day and he was explaining it and he was telling his buddies, I was like, "Wow."
Yep. I do know I heard him make a comment that when he was running one little sideline route that he was just jogging, and that they made the comment, he knows he's not getting the ball, so he's not putting any effort in. But then again, this is all speculation.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it again, out of character. I find it hard to believe that a guy that's, you know, working on trying to make the team or wanting a contract, whether it be with Dallas or another team, yes, he's had a great year. He's had some good games, but I don't want to. You build 100 bridges, and then you know, you do something regretful one time, and people remember you for that. Nothing to do with your 100 bridges. It comes back to haunt you, and that's what I'm saying. Is a lot of people right now are looking at what he did in this last game, not what he's done over the season,
yeah,
and that's just harsh. But again, I don't even know if CD's playing this week. I haven't seen anything. I think it's too early to tell. They'll probably wait till the last minute. But with a concussion,
yeah.
it's usually out for a few weeks, couple weeks, I would think.
Well, my wife's a Steelers fan, and after that game, she said, "You see why we got rid of him?" Like,
Yeah, talking
and I
about
was like, "It's one
Yeah,
game." She's like, "Yeah, but it's one game that was crucial to the Cowboys to win."
yeah. But
And
again,
this is what we had with him, and it wasn't just one game with him.
yeah.
And
Well,
I was
you're
like, "Yeah,
talking. They played 14 games, and out of 14 games, this is the only game anybody's really been able
yeah,
to criticize and notice something. So again, I think something was wrong. But hey, with that said,
I
are
am
you
ready.
ready to get this going?
I am ready, sir."
All right.
How many games you got?
I am going to stick with my lucky seven. I like.
Lucky
Well,
7.
to me, it's
Alright.
I know I didn't win them all, but going 5-2, and I think last week I went 4-2, or
You were 5-1 last week.
yeah, 5-1. Here it is, Cincinnati.
Yep.
I got it right here. Yeah. So
5-1,
yeah,
4-2, 9-3 in 2 weeks? That's why you're catching up to me.
yeah. So you know what? I'm gonna write it out. I'm confident in these games, and again, I haven't been letting anything influence my decisions. I'm doing a little bit of homework here and there, but if I like the game, I stick with it. If I see some stuff out there that I think is questionable, I might look into it a little bit. But in this case, these last several weeks have been my picks and my picks only. No help. No, again, you catch a little stuff here and there of injuries, but I'm not doing trends and stats and all that stuff because I don't care. I don't
Right.
care. I don't believe in this. My team is due. I mean, if you want to use that analogy, that you think a team is due. Did anybody predict or think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to lose 3, 4 games in a row? What was it? 3 in a row, 4 in a row?
3 in a
3 in a
row.
row. You know, anybody predict the Denver Broncos to win what 10 straight?
Yeah.
I mean, and we can go on and on and on. But anyway, with that said, I'm going to go ahead. I'll start if you want. All right, and I'm going to go to the Atlanta Tampa Bay game. Good game. You know, Baker's having a tough time, and I still believe that he's a good quarterback. I still believe Tampa Bay's got a good team. I don't know if they're going to be able to continue on and win their division, but I'm going to stick with them. I'm going to write them out, and I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I saw the line at 4.5. They're getting healthier as the season moves on, which is the time to do it. So I'm taking Tampa Bay. It's at 4.5. I'm going to buy it down to 4. I'm taking the Bucks -4 against the Atlanta Falcons.
So that one scared me. I stayed away from that game. I don't know, man. It almost makes me think like Tampa might lose their division, but it's scary. Atlanta, they don't show up most of the time, but you never know. And I mean, Kirk Cousins, he's shown he's old. But I'm gonna do something crazy. This is my craziest one of the week, I think. Browns at Bears,
Yeah.
and I'm taking the Browns plus 7.5. I'll tell you why. Bears have 9 wins. Out of those 9 wins, 3 of them are 7 points or more. I don't think the Bears are going to lose, but I don't think they're going to win by a touchdown. I think they're going to win by like 4, 5, 6. 4, I'm thinking. I'm thinking like 21-17, something like that. I don't see them winning by, a touchdown or more. So I'm taking the Browns 7.5.
Yeah, that's good. Good bet. I'm going to be honest with you. You're causing me to skip down, but since you brought that game up and it's one of my picks as well, I'm with you. But I saw it at 8.
Got it. Got dropped down to 7.5.
Okay, well, I'm going with Cleveland as well, and I'm taking the 8 points. Is if it's not 8, if it's 7.5, I'm going to buy it up, obviously. But I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns plus the 8 points. I don't think Chicago can cover. I think Chicago is they left as much as possible out on that field against Green Bay. And again, I'll say it. I don't think they're as good as their record. And
Right.
I think Cleveland right now, whether you want to admit it, like it, don't like it, I think they got a spark with Shador Sanders right now. He
I think
played
so
an
too.
outstanding game. I mean, threw 3 touchdowns, ran a touchdown in. I mean, guy scores 4 touchdowns, 300 something yards. I think he was only sacked twice, which,
Yeah.
he's got mobility. I think that's a um, challenge for the Bears to have a quarterback on the other side of the ball that has the ability to do basically what Caleb Williams can do, and that's use his legs as well. But I think Shador, if he's as accurate and has a game like he had last week, I think they win this game outright. So I'm
So,
definitely going
I
to take
mean,
it.
I hope they don't win outright.
Of course you do.
Um,
I get that, but
but the thing is, and I can't remember the backup's name that when we played the Ravens, but they could not stop the quarterback. I don't know if he was a rookie or not. I just can't remember who he was. Also, with Dart, they couldn't stop him. And if Dart never would have gotten that concussion, I'm telling you, Bears would have lost that game.
I agree.
Well, Shador can run. He can obviously he's shown he can pass. Okay, the Titans defense, I get it. But tell me if that does not boost your confidence. Throwing almost 400 yards as a rookie, 3 TDs, running one in. He ran 3 times for like 29 yards or something like that. I mean, that boosts your confidence. You know your season's already done, but you're gonna come into Chicago and you're gonna play lights out. That's what you want to play. That's what every player wants to do. Even though you're out of the playoffs, I think he has something to prove because he wasn't started. They didn't put him in the beginning of the season. That was just a mess over there. And I think he's gonna try to prove his point to be a starter next year. And where it's not like he's got to compete, they're gonna be like, you know what, we're gonna make you the starter. There's no competition on this, so
I
it's
agree.
gonna be a tough one, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think Huntley was the backup quarterback for Baltimore.
That's who it was. Yes.
Yeah,
And they couldn't stop him.
right.
They couldn't stop Dart. And if Shador gets running, I mean, I hope third time's a charm. You learn your lesson and you figure it out. But you just never know, man.
Well, there's everything you're talking about. I agree with you on everything. And again, I know you don't probably agree that I think Cleveland has the potential to win this game outright, but
Yeah.
at least I'm taking the 8 points. All right. Who do you
Well,
go? Go ahead.
I got the Ravens and Bengals. I don't know who's gonna win this game. They both are gonna try really hard, but I think they're gonna try so hard it's not gonna be a high scoring game. They've got it at 52.5. I'm buying the under at 53.
You're taking the Baltimore Cincinnati game under 53. All right.
Yeah.
My
Yep.
next one, I'm going to go to Arizona, Houston.
Okay.
Um, you know what? I, I am sold on the Texans. I see CJ is coming around. The Texans have on a win streak, 6 games in a row. They've won the last 6 games. I know they're playing Arizona, and Arizona's struggling. As we know, they're 3-10. They have lost 5 games in a row. Kyler Murray won't play again this year. So that tells you a lot right there. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I'm taking the Texans. I'm scared of it. It's 10 points. And I've thought about the money line, but I am so confident that the Texans win this game in double digits that I'm going to lay the 10 points and take the Texans over the Cardinals minus 10.
Wow.
Yeah,
That confident, huh?
I am. I definitely am.
I mean, you're right. They got a spark. I remember in the beginning of the season, after week 4, everybody and their mothers were saying Houston is done. Even
Yeah,
I was
well,
one
I'm
of them.
telling you,
I said one of them,
he
they're cooked, they're done for the year. Good luck, just move on to next year. But no, they something happened to where they got a fire in their ass is what did happen. So
mhm.
um, my next one is the Titans at 49ers. San Francisco's coming off a bye. The spread is 12.5. I'm not gonna do it. Um, I'm I'm taking 49ers obviously, but I'm gonna do the KJ
You
money
mind?
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good bet. I would that's a lot of points, and, anything can happen in that game.
Yeah, but here's the thing, they beat Carolina, what, 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, by 11. Yeah, they beat Cleveland by 22, but that's Cleveland. I mean, San Francisco's defense is pretty good. Yes, Titans are destroyed, but again, I don't wanna take the chance, especially coming off a bye. I'm gonna just go money line.
It's a good bet. It's, like I said, I think I'm with you. I think the Niners win that game. So I wouldn't lay those points. That's, money line's probably the way to go on that one. Um, yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna go to my next one, and I am looking at the Raiders Eagles, and I'm not going to do the traditional, to the Eagles. I'm going to give them some respect because I think we, I think we've offended some viewers, and I get it. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm not where we're at and doing what we're doing. I got to be a little non-biased, and that's hard to do when you have a rival like the Eagles, Cowboys in division. I don't care for them. Never liked them. Never gonna like 'em. And you know what? I just hope they stay on the streak they're on. That would be such a great blessing if they stayed on the streak they're on. With that said, I'm not gonna do you know, the yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna show some respect and some restraint. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna take the Las Vegas Raiders plus 13 points because I believe they can get the Eagles are on a 3-game losing streak. And I honestly don't expect them to lose 4 in a row. I don't. But I don't expect them to be able to go out there and pop 14 unanswered points or challenged points and beating the Raiders team when Gino can show up and he might have a great game. You know, Pete Carroll might be able to get this team ready to play them. The Eagles are so in such disarray right now.
And they are talking about that Geno Smith is still considered doubtful with a shoulder injury.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I saw
Yeah,
it. But
so
I'm just
Kenny
telling you,
Pickett would be the backup, right?
yeah.
So,
And that's probably obviously that's got a lot to do with why it's 13 points. You
yeah.
know, I tell you what I was gonna do. I was gonna bet the Eagles on the money line, and then I was gonna also take the Raiders plus the points. I
Yeah.
was gonna make 2 bets, 2 separate bets, and I was gonna hope it landed right in the middle. Hope they, land on 10, you
Yeah.
know? But I
Yeah.
was gonna do that, and I thought about it, I go, "You know what? I'm just gonna ride this one out, and I'm gonna go with the points on this one, and I'm gonna take, the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'm hoping that Geno is able to play, but if not, maybe they get some, much needed magic. I've seen it
Yeah.
happen before. You've seen it happen before. There's a potential, and you again, Eagles are not the Eagles of last year or the year before for that matter. They're hurting, they're struggling, and their self-esteem is in the dumpster. And so that's my reasoning why. If I'm gonna have a loss, that may be it, but I'm sticking with it. I'm taking the Raiders plus 13 points and beat
I
the.
mean, I
I'd
could see
love to
it.
see. I'd love to see the Eagles lose this game outright. Boy, that would be so awesome.
And the Cowboys to win, man, oh man,
That would definitely be the icing on the cake.
they got a one game there because I think the Eagles, do they still have to play Buffalo, right? Am I right? Am I right on that?
I'd have to look, but I believe they have a few tough games coming at them.
Yeah, I know they got what, Washington, but but again, when you're playing the divisional games, it's more
Exactly.
more tough, I guess,
You
more
know,
more competition. So
even I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm
no,
sorry.
you're good.
Even with Barkley having 122 yards, they couldn't pull that game out.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts looked, I mean, the
four
way he's
interceptions,
looked,
man.
I think his quarterback rating, 31.3, 21 of 40, 240 yards, 4 interceptions.
Yeah,
And I'm just hoping
I
somehow.
told you though that last week. I told you
Yeah.
Chargers pass defense is top 5, man.
Yep. You're right. They got a stout defense.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, with your Houston pick, I mean, they are allowing the least points per game, so their defense is good, man.
Yep. Yep.
So
Absolutely. So I think we need to ride these out.
yeah,
And as a Cowboy fan, I hope they get plucked.
hope so too, because I don't like the Eagles because ever since, like, I've hated the Eagles, but I haven't hated the Eagles more since that double doinker so many
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
And after that, you know what, I cannot stand them anymore. So, but I'm going on my fourth pick, Colts at the Seahawks.
All right.
Welcome back, Philip Rivers, if you start. And what a way to start at Seattle with the 12th man, the defense, the crowd's going to go nuts. I am so confident in this game that usually what I say, I don't usually go 10, 10 and a half. That's it. I'm taking Seattle. It's at 13 and a half. I'm dropping it down to 13, but I'm taking Seattle minus 13. Nothing else I had to stay. It's Seattle, man.
That's awesome. I never seen you lay that many points.
Yeah,
Well, that's pretty confident right there.
I'm very confident.
Yeah, that's confidence right there. Well, good luck. I'm going to move on to my next one, Minnesota Dallas game.
All right.
Normally I would go to that game, but I'm not able to this weekend. So my son-in-law is going to go, and hopefully he gets to enjoy a game that you and I have been to a couple of them this season that have been just
Yeah.
barn burners, great games. So I am going to go with Dallas Cowboys at home, but I'm also weary because I've seen what the inconsistent JJ McCarthy was able to do in the fourth quarter to win that game against the Bears. And he's so inconsistent that I'm really hesitant to lay the 5.5 points. I think Dallas will win this game. Honestly, I believe they'll cover, but my confidence level after what they did against the the Lions, and what Minnesota JJ has done up and down all year, I'm going to take Dallas on the money line. So I'm believing Dallas wins this game. Again, I think they'll cover this 5.5 points, but I'm going to take Dallas money line against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I think I do the same thing. I think Dallas will win, but again, the way that Minnesota played last week, that defense looked really. I mean, it was Washington that played, right? Am I? But
Who?
again,
Yeah,
it was
Minnesota. They destroyed
Minnesota,
them.
but to shut them out. I mean, and JJ did really look good, and of course, like you're hearing the people saying, "Oh my God, is JJ awesome, gonna be great," but it's one game, so if the Cowboys, if they can pick up on their defense a little bit, I think, and they do a little bit of blitzing on McCarthy, I think they can put some pressure on him to make him fold. But yeah, I'd take the same thing. I would do Dallas money line as well.
Yeah, I just think, like I said, I'm honestly, I guess I can't say I'm not too scared to bet it, but I'm too scared to lay the points because
Yeah,
I just don't know what on either side of the ball. I mean, I'm being honest,
yeah,
I don't know what McCarthy's going to show up. I don't know what Dallas team's going to show up.
right.
And right now with what happened in the Lions game and how the Eagles, crapped the bed again, and
Yeah,
gave Dallas hope again of potentially winning the division if they can do what I think they can do and win out, and the Eagles
yep,
can drop another one. I pray one of them is this week against the Raiders, but if not, somewhere along the line, if Dallas can stay on this win streak and the Eagles can continue to flutter, I, I think we got a good shot at possibly surprising everybody out there in the NFL that the Cowboys have the potential and they have the possibility to still win their division, which is you know, far fetched, but it's a
right.
possibility. So,
Yep.
with that said, I think you're done with your picks.
Nope. I've got two more.
Okay, great.
Um, my fifth pick is the Jets at Jags. This one is 13.5. This one I won't touch the spread on it. I'm just taking the Jags money line. I mean, Jets are cooked. Jags got something to prove. They got to win the division. They're going to take it more serious. They're playing at home. Trevor Lawrence, I think, is going to have a tremendous game. So, Jags money line.
All right. So I am going to go to the Carolina New Orleans game. And we were talking about Tampa Bay a while ago. Well, guess who's tied with them in their division? Carolina Panthers. So Carolina has the potential to win that division. And I'd said it earlier, Panthers, watch out for them. I believe they were coming around. I've said it a few times.
You have,
They're 7-6. I believe is what the record is, if I'm not
yep,
mistaken.
yep,
Yeah, 7-6. So I think they have gotten some confidence. Actually, they have gotten confidence. Or thinking about it, it shows in their play. Um, they are rallying to win games, and I believe that New Orleans. I know they had a good game the other day. They won a game that we were stunned that they beat. Um, Who was it they played that they beat? Was it Tampa?
it was, yes, it was Tampa.
Yeah, and I mean, just stunning victory.
Show played really well. The QB
I'm sorry?
Show, I think his Show is his
Yeah,
name.
24-20.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had a great game.
ran for two
I
touchdowns.
mean, 144 yards is all he had, but he only threw
Yeah,
one pick, but he had a 65% quarterback rating. But point being is Baker Mayfield only had a 55.1
yeah,
rating. And you know what I mean? So obviously it wasn't the quarterbacks that it wasn't him that won that game, but he didn't cost them that game.
right.
With that said, I am going to take Carolina laying 2 points against New Orleans. And I truly believe that Carolina wins that game by a touchdown or more. But I'm going to stay with the Panthers over the Saints. It was 2.5. I'm buying it. If it's not at 2, I'm buying it to 2. I'm not going to lay a half point. So I'll take Carolina against the Saints.
You got it. Um, he had 7 carries for 58 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Who's that?
Show,
Yeah,
right? Is that his name?
yeah. I
Show?
mean, he played pretty good ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely did. He played pretty good ball.
So, Ernie, it's minus 2.5.
Yeah, but yes, when I saw it, it was 2.5. Again, I'll buy it to 2.
Okay, just making sure I got that.
Yeah,
All
when
right.
I saw it, that's where it was at.
My last one, sixth pick, Lions at the Rams. It's going to be a shootout. And when I feel the games are shootouts, I never know who's going to win. I can't even pick a money line on that. And so I'm going, and it started out, I think, at 51 on Monday or 52. It's at 55.5. I'm going over 55.
Right?
because Matthew Stafford is playing his Lions, so
Yep. Yep.
Goff is playing his Rams, and I think they're just gonna try to compete with each other on who can throw the most yards. So,
All right. Well, all right. My last one, Green Bay, Denver. The team that I say gets no respect,
yep,
and they haven't gotten any from anybody I've seen. I haven't seen any teams even so much. And maybe I've seen analysts. I mean, maybe one or two that have come out and mentioned their name as a possibility to go to the Super Bowl. You know, they're winning their division. They're 11-2, 10 straight wins. They're a home dog against a Green Bay team that we just talked about struggled against the Bears at home. And Green Bay's not the Green Bay team they were. And there's some inconsistencies there. I mean, you look at the game they played against Cowboys that we were at 40-40 tie,
yeah,
and then you watch and see how they're struggling. And if it wasn't for the interception in the end
yeah,
zone by your quarterback, the last
yeah,
play of the game, they may have tied it. Who knows what would have happened from that point on? They
right, yeah,
probably would have went for two. I'm willing to bet you the Bears would have went for two.
and I would have been happy with it.
Yeah, they go for the win. And you know why? Because they know they have another meeting with them and they know they got other games in there, even if they lost, which they did, even by not getting the 2 points. They're only one game out of the division lead. We lose right there or lose
Yeah,
by going for two with the chance to win it. I agree. I'd have been okay with it as a fan as well. With that said, home team underrated, in my opinion, Denver Broncos. How you underrate a team that has won 10 straight games in a row is just beyond
and
me.
it's undefeated at home.
Yeah, it's just crazy that they don't get any respect of only losing two games this season, and the only other team to do that is New England at this point. And you know that's another subject on its own with that quarterback because he's playing lights out.
Yeah,
I'm taking Denver home dog. It's 2.5. I'm buying it to 3. I'm obviously going to tell you that Denver Broncos, in my opinion, are going to win this game outright. I think they show Green Bay why they're undefeated at home, why they have 11-2 record, and I think they win this game. I'm going to go out there and say I'm willing to bet it's a touchdown or more, but
yeah.
I'm going to take the Broncos. I'm going to take the 2.5, buy it to 3. So I'm taking Denver for my last pick plus 3 points.
I think they're probably they've got them as the dogs because of Bo Nix.
Probably.
That's the only thing I can think of because you can't say they're the dogs because of their defense.
There's
Can't say that.
maybe there's again. I haven't done a bunch of reading on it. I haven't looked at a bunch of stuff on it, so maybe there's some injuries I don't know about. I find it hard to believe you're going to make a team an underdog, speculating that Bo Nix, you know, make crumble. Also, one other thing that keep in mind is they thinking that Denver's so comfortable being at 11-2, and the Chargers are behind them at 9-4 that they can afford a loss. So maybe they're thinking that Denver doesn't want to get anybody hurt. I don't
I
think
don't
that's
know.
the case. But either way, I don't know how they come up with Denver Broncos being a dog. I don't give two shits about why. I'm
Yeah,
taking the Broncos plus the 3 points at home, Mile High Stadium, undefeated at home. I think the Broncos win this game outright. I think the Packers are another team that's, you know, overrated, good enough to win their division because of
yep,
who's in their division. But that's and if they lost and the Bears won it, I wouldn't be surprised at that either. Because the Bears,
right.
I mean, they got a record that I think is deceiving. I've made that clear. I saw some of the horseshoes fall out of their ass this last Sunday that they've been riding on for some of the games they won.
We just forgot it on I-94.
Yeah, hey, I mean, I'm calling like I see it. Bears have, and they're the only. Always, there's other games and other teams that have been lucky and they're winning, but I mean, there's 3, 4 games that the Bears, you know. they were living
No,
right up.
I'm not arguing it. I'm
Yeah,
not arguing it.
I'm not doing it to be ugly. I'm just saying they got some horseshoes up their ass that
You know,
are starting
I
to
say
fall
a
out.
win is a win, no matter how you get it. But
Right.
at the end of the day, you can't get those wins in the playoffs. And obviously, as it looks like we have a good chance of still making the playoffs. But once we get in the playoffs, we can't. It's not going to be luck anymore. It's going to be
No,
you need the
that's right. You gotta play teams that are there's teams that are there that, you know, they won their way there convincingly.
like the Rams.
There you go. Even the Broncos, even
Yeah,
New England.
yeah,
I mean, let's say they got, lucky in a game or two. They still got a great winning record and, the Rams are gonna be tough. Stafford's he's a beast, man.
he
He's a
is.
beast. But as you and I talked about, Bo Nix coming out of the same draft as your boy and what's his name, the other quarterback
Which
that was
one?
that was
Drake
drafted,
May. Drake May.
Penix.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I think he's hurt though, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. He's on IR.
I mean, you got those
ACL.
out of those 3 A's, as he's shown up that he was, he should have been he should have been overall pick. And we've talked about that.
Yeah,
You've compared basic comparisons to him and your quarterback, which I get, but I
right.
used to
I
say,
don't want to say anything though. I mean, but I'm going to say one thing, but I'm not saying anything bad. We've got better core receivers. I think tight ends, even the running game than New England does.
yeah.
New England by far has a way better defense than us, but Drake May can't pick and choose like Caleb Williams can because Caleb's got 5 people he can throw it to if he wanted to. So
And you're right. They do. You got a strong core. And I said that y'all got talent on your team, but
yeah,
that's not what's winning games. And it's like in education, we're in the same grade and you know, you're getting A's and I'm getting C's. And
yeah,
I'm just slower than you are. It takes me longer to grasp. And that's what I see in those 2 quarterbacks.
right,
One
yep.
quarterback for New England is grasping the game, able to read the defense better. He's making plays with, as you just put it, less talent on his team. And
And his accuracy
yeah,
is thick.
and Caleb's got the talent on his team. He's not reading the defense as well. He's not
Right.
playing as well. He's doing enough to win and pass to grade, get to the next level. It's just
You know what bothers me? You can run out of the pocket under duress
yeah,
and
like
throw a
let's
bullet
rope. Yeah,
in between players, but you're in the pocket and you overthrow a wide open receiver. I mean, that's the part that just gets me. Like,
yeah.
the guy's got talent, no questions asked. You know, he- it's that part is just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, I get it. And like I said, I was the same way about Dak, and and he's in his what tenth season, I believe. I was the same way for the first 4, 5, 6 years with Dak Prescott, and I'm going, I was harsher than I should have been maybe early, but when you get into your 5th, 6th year and you're still, you know, it's time to reconsider, especially with the talent that he had around him.
Yeah,
And he had he was given a good team when he took over.
yeah,
And anyway, enough of that. We can't heart on that. We ain't going to change nothing. Um,
right. Yeah,
Recap: I'm taking Tampa Bay against Atlanta -4. I'm taking the Texans against Arizona -10. I'm taking Cleveland +8 minus Chicago. I'm taking the Raiders against the Pigeons +13. And I'm taking Dallas on the money line against Minnesota, and I believe they win the game outright. But it's still gonna. I don't want to lay the 5.5 points because I'm kind of timid on what I've seen from McCarthy and what I've seen from Dallas. I'm taking Carolina -2. I'm buying it down to 2 against New Orleans, and I'm taking Denver at home, which I'm shocked, +3 points against the so-so Green Bay Packers.
yep. And my recap, that's still crazy. You know what's going to be crazy is when Denver does win out, and people are going to be like, wow. Then they're going to start talking about Denver.
Yeah.
All right, recap for mine. Browns +7.5. I've got the
I'm
Ravens,
I'm sorry,
Bengals.
really quick. Are you gonna buy it up to 8 or are you leaving it?
No, I'm not buying it up to 8. I'm
Okay.
going 7.5.
Alright.
I really think it's gonna be less than that. So,
Okay.
Ravens and Bengals under 53 points. Titans and 49ers, 49ers money line. Colts at Seahawks, Seahawks minus 13. Lions at Rams, I'm taking the over 55. Jets at Jags, Jags money line.
All right. You got 6 picks.
6-0.
Let's just go do a 13 team parlay.
Here's the thing what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do my bets, and then I am doing all 13.
Yeah, do it. Let's do it. Let's put 100 on it.
I don't know if I'm gonna go that high, but
I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. So, as we always disclaimer, be wise, bet at your own risk.
yep,
Um, enjoy the games, don't stress over them, but have some
right.
fun. And if you haven't been riding us, well, shame on you. And
Yeah, buddy.
we picked up a couple new subscribers.
We did, we did.
Yeah. And
And here's the thing. Remember, I said earlier, I pretend like I know what I'm picking, so
yeah, yeah, exactly.
apparently I do though,
Yeah.
because
Funny.
the record
Yes.
shows.
That's pretty funny right there. You
All right.
um, well, we've shared our stress with our teams and we've shared our victories with our friends out there watching us. So let's do it again this week.
Do it again.
All right, man. Until
Talk to you next
then,
week.
peace out.
Peace out, everybody.